Dean and Skip, please move over, fill in an empty space. Dean, I think it's bad luck to stand next to you, I guess. But listen, guys, there's only 4 of you left. There's only 3 spots in the next round. This is it. This is everything. This is our last category. One of you will be eliminated. Dean, you're up next. Let's see our final category. Ridley Scott Glenn Close. That's movies directed by Ridley Scott, or featuring Scott Glenn, or featuring Glenn Close. Ready? Dean.
The Big Chill.
Skip.
Fatal Attraction.
Chad.
Air Force One.
Tony.
Gladiator.
Dean.
Thelma and Louise.
Skip.
Alien.
Chad.
Black Hawk Down.
Tony.
Urban Cowboy.
Dean.
The Stone Boy.
Skip.
The Natural.
Chad.
Hannibal.
Tony.
The Duelist.
No. It's the Duelists, not the Duelists. There's 2 of them. That's
Christ.
I know. But you know, if we weren't that accurate, we'd have geeks all over this show. Have to keep accurate. Thank you. Too bad, Tony. I promised you excitement, danger, and intrigue, and I think we delivered. The 3 remaining finalists for the Ultimate Film Fanatic of the United States are Skip, Dean, and Chad. That's the end of our first round, and just like that, we've already said goodbye to 4 of our finalists, and standing here like true movie maniacs are our 3 remaining challengers. But after the next round, there will only be 2. Once again, it's time for the great debate. You guys have all been here before, so you know the drill. You're going to face off in head-to-head debates. The first 2 people to win a debate move on to the finals. The last person gets a ticket home. To help us decide who wins each debate, we have 3 very special guests. He's been in more movies than most people ever see in their lives. From Barbershop and Hollywood Homicide, it's Keith David. She played a Bible-selling con artist at the age of 10 and became the youngest person ever to win an Oscar. It's Tatum O'Neal. Star of Henry's Film Corner on IFC, it's the lovable and effervescent Henry Rollins. Thanks for helping us out. Now, continuing the order from the previous round, Chad and Dean, you're up first. Come on over here. You guys know how this works. 20 seconds to make your initial argument. 10 seconds to rebut. Pay attention to these lights. Green talk, yellow 5 seconds, red stop. Our panel will then decide who made the stronger argument. Our first debate topic is the best director of all time. Chad says it's
William Wyler.
And Dean says it's
Alfred Hitchcock.
Okay, you ready? Chad, you're up first. 20 seconds, go now.
Well, as far as awards-wise, William Wyler is the most honored director of all time, and he was extremely prolific. He hip-hop genres and made classics. It is from in the epic, like Ben-Hur, the musical in Funny Girl, Funny Girl, and the romantic comedy in Roman Holiday, and even the Western in The Big Country. And so he was able to just find the story.
Wyler is a superb actor's director, but Hitchcock changed the language of film, the editing of Psycho, the cinematography of Rope, One Tank, the music of Bernard Herrmann, casting people in unorthodox roles, controversial subject matter you would never ever imagine movies would dare to tackle, and more AFI mentions than any other director.
Time. Chad, you've got 10 seconds. You know what's at stake? Go!
But when it comes to getting performances, no other director is like William Wyler. 37 performances from Wyler films have been nominated for an Oscar, more than any other. Hitchcock is about 9 in comparison. And so
Dean!
Great actors director, but Hitchcock is the one. You ask film students, you ask aspiring directors, who do they want to be? They want to be Alfred Hitchcock. He's the one over Weiler.
Time. All right. Great arguments on both sides, really. Keith David, we're going to start with you.
Well, I got to say, this is the breakfast of champions. Great arguments on both sides. And they're both directors I happen to particularly like as well. But in terms of who presented the strongest argument for my money right now, Dean.
Dean, you've got one vote. Hey, Chad, you got to win the next two. Tatum, how did you see this debate?
I thought they both made extremely strong arguments. Right, I'm going to give it to Chad.
Chad! Okay. We're tied up at one apiece. Henry, you have the deciding vote.
Yes. I thought they both made really good points, but I thought that Dean was far more concise and more persuasive. So I'm voting for Dean.
Dean! You're moving on to the finals! Stand over here! Skip, come on up. Okay. Here is the topic for our final debate. The worst movie ever made. Chad says it's...
The Never-Ending Story.
And Skip says it's...
U-turn.
Okay, Chad, you're up first. Go now!
I was a kid when The Never-Ending Story came out, so I was his target audience at the time. But even at the time, I just knew that I did not like it because it seemed to me that it was like a Hollywood version of what a kid's imagination should be. And I was even offended as a kid because I didn't think of midgets and like strange faraway lands as a kid, and that just wasn't what I thought. And I felt like there was no soul behind this movie.
Skip!
You said I feel and it seemed. I was the same age as you growing up, and I didn't like that movie all that much, but we're talking about the worst movie ever made. I can tell you the name of the dragon, I can tell you the name of the theme song. It was all right. Worst movie ever made is U-Turn by Oliver Stone, which is all the fun of a mescaline trip without actually being high. It's horrible.
Time. Okay, there's only 10 seconds left. You know what's at stake. Chad, go!
Again, I just think it was really sloppily put together, and I felt like I could see the machinery at work. Like it had the stock characters and the stock princess, and and it was just everything that a fairy tale / magic.
Here's a tissue. You're going to need it when I'm done. It's not the worst movie ever made. You talk about all these little points. U-Turn is absolutely horrid. There's no redeeming value to the film whatsoever.
Time. Okay. For the winner, a spot in the finals. For the loser, a tissue. We're going to start with Henry this time.
I think that Chad, while not really convincing me the movie was really bad, Skip, you spent a good chunk of your time talking about Chad's movie instead of talking about why U-Turn is so bad. And so I am going to give it to Chad.
Okay, Chad. Got your first vote. Tatum.
So unfortunately, Skip, you were not able to convince me how bad U-Turn was, which I was really curious to hear because I actually enjoyed U-Turn. Instead, you were too busy telling me why his movie wasn't going to work, and so I picked Chad.
Chad! You're in the finals! Congratulations! Keith David, how would you have voted?
Well, for all the reasons that have been said, the time you spent tangenting on the other, I didn't learn any more about U-Turn. And Chad was far more specific about what he didn't like and why it was so bad and why he thought it was so bad. And they were excellent point makers. So I had to go with Chad.
Clean sweep for you, Chad. Congratulations. Skip, you fought hard. You know, you should be really proud. Let's give him a hand, folks. All right. Gotta send you on your way. See you, Skip.